Session number 41, November 5, 2024, Part 1. We began the session with the group rushing through the mountain pass as quickly as possible. Traveling the remainder of the day to get to the other side of the Megas Plateau, the group rested outside of the location they formerly remembered to be Thestia. The night was restless for Cygnus and his brother with time not on their sides. In the morning, the group broke down camp quickly and headed in expecting a fight. A small encampment had been built with a few tents and a wooden stage alongside the crossroads with a small wooden fence surrounding it. The group opted to head straight in to avoid risking Soya's safety. The grunts at the camp were large and doofy and willing to work with the group when they approached and asked to speak to the leader of the encampment. After a moment and one of the goons' departures, the leader approached the stage and made himself known. Higas, a tall human with black, slicked-back hair and dark tattoos covering most of his visible body aside from his face, spoke sternly to the group of his disappointment that they had not brought their father and that he had the full intention to return his father Orson Glowcloud to life once he got his soul back from Regulus Estrada. With that, Higas summoned forth a woman who he identified as Albeth. Albeth dragged Soya behind her on a leash. The young girl looked like she had been roughed up by her captors and was restrained at her hands while gagged at the mouth. Her eyes screamed for help when she made eye contact with her two older brothers Cygnus and Miletus from across the expanse. Higas summoned Albeth to bring the girl to him and he summoned a syringe from somewhere on his person. A look of horror flooded across the bound and gagged young girl as Higas explained that the vial would turn the girl into a Psionicosaurus Rex in a few days' time. Cygnus attempted to destroy the vial the moment he said anything with a precision shot but failed to land the mark, causing Higas to rush the process.
He injected the girl and pushed her off the stage before ordering one of his commanders, the large bald brute Paclo, to beat Cygnus and his brother and kill the rest. Paclo jumped off the stage, transforming into a massive Pachycephalosaurus and beginning the battle. Cygnus immediately ran to protect his little sister and get her away from beasts in front of him as the remaining goons in the camp were transforming into Pachycephalosaurus and raptors all around. Zoblorg followed behind and offered cover fire as the two of them were swarmed by the dinosaur attackers. Nicholas joined to offer the group a third hand in support as Paclo made a leaping slam attack and swung wildly with his club tail, which dripped with a deadly, corrosive acid that burned Cygnus' skin horribly when it made contact. He told his sister to run to her brother outside the camp and tried his best to hold off the attacks from the massive acidic beast. On the other side of the battlefield, Lil Bill was trying to clear a path for the young girl to escape and Tigret was doing everything in her power to keep Lil Bill from being annihilated by the dinosaurs trying to crush him. While Tigret fought back two of the dinosaurs, Lil Bill safely fired fire blasts all around to provide Soya the cover she needed to get behind friendly lines. Jacris on the other hand was dealing with a chase. Two raptor men were in hot pursuit of the warlock who needed to keep his distance to stand any chance in the fight. The two ferocious raptors were more than fast enough to keep up the pursuit even as Jacris resorted to rougher tactics like deadly shock waves and force blasts. Jacris, however, was unable to shake the pursuers who cornered him against a tent. With the front line struggling to fight back Paclo and his men, even with the assistance of Zoblorg and his alien technology, Halos attempted to leverage Cygnus' fears to pull more from Halos out of him.
Cygnus rejected the mysterious shadows offered just in time to dodge a massive acid regurgitation from Paclo, narrowly avoiding Zoblorg as well but completely drenching Tigret, knocking her unconscious. Lil Bill, now left unprotected, prepared to die facing down the two dinosaurs in front of him. Just as the fight seemed overwhelming, however, Jacris came through. Using his elvish magic, he slipped past the raptors as they were attempting to tackle him to the ground and tear into him. He had just enough time before discharging force blasts back at them to heal Tigret, allowing the Minotaur to land surprise attacks on her two opponents, granting her and Lil Bill the advantage they needed to win their fight. Jacris quickly used the distance he gained to finish off the opponents chasing him, and Zoblorg and Nicholas each landed killing blows on their enemies, leaving only Paclo and Cygnus fighting. Paclo attempted one final killing blow, but it wasn't enough. Cygnus withstood the attack from the beast and drove his sword into him, reverting him back into his human state. Then Cygnus threw down his sword and proclaimed to hell with it before fully sending it. Whether his intention or not, he fully embraced the blessing of Halos, even if just for a moment, and let off a massive series of fiery punches with huge shockwaves emanating from each. The resulting destruction left everything behind the blast in flames and rubble. Cygnus was briefly tattooed in strange markings, leaking black ichor from his mouth, nose and eyes, and emitting fire from his fingertips, and the tips of both of the black horns jutting from his head. Paclo was dead, blown in half, and Cygnus had seemingly not suffered any burns from this most recent attack. A note found on Paclo's remaining lower half revealed that the serum given to Soya had a 72-hour gestation period where they could reverse the effects, but they would need to inject her with the antiserum first. They would be sending the antiserum to Citrium if the group wanted to risk coming for it but didn't expect them to succeed. We ended the session with the group reuniting the three siblings together at their temporary base camp, with Citrium the next goal in mind and a dark truth needing to be told.